There's quite a lot of news happening around XRP that has quite a bit of impact on the XRP price. So the CEO is pretty confident now in the lawsuit. There is a demand for a swift verdict that helps the XRP price soar, and the Chamber of Digital Commerce can now get the approval to join the lawsuit of the SEC versus Ripple. So this altogether helps the price of XRP going up quite a bit. The last 24 hours, we see a price increase of 20% almost. In the last 7 days, XRP increased by almost 50%. When we look at the top 100 cryptocurrencies, right, in terms of market cap, as in how large are those cryptocurrencies, XRP is the best performing among the bunch. So nothing performed as well as XRP in the last 24 hours. Now, when we look at the long-term chart of XRP in US dollars, if you had invested in 2013, you would now be up by almost 9,000%. This is a pretty nice development. But the reason why you're investing in XRP and not in something like Bitcoin or Ethereum is you want to get some kind of an outperformance, right? In the end, one might still argue that because the market cap is lower, there tends to be less adoption, right? There tends to be less of a network around this, meaning there is more risk, inherently more risk in buying XRP over Bitcoin or Ethereum. Thus, with this additional risk, you would expect also additional performance, right? Why else otherwise take on that risk if you don't get compensated for it? So instead of looking at the US dollar price, let's actually look at the relative performance to Bitcoin first and then to Ethereum. This is XRP relative to Bitcoin. And since inception, this doesn't look as great, right? An underperformance of almost 60% of XRP versus Bitcoin. So XRP tends to trade in this range, right? Sometimes XRP relative to Bitcoin is expensive. Sometimes Bitcoin relative to XRP is expensive. Of course, in the recent years, XRP underperformed, probably also because of the lawsuit. Now, what I think is the more fair comparison, though, is to compare large altcoins against each other, right? So let's compare XRP versus Ethereum rather than versus Bitcoin, because Bitcoin more or less stands on its own, right? It's a pretty passive investment. It's simply just a place to park your money. It's not being used that much for active speculation. And this is XRP versus Ethereum. It doesn't look as enticing, right? Since 2015, an underperformance versus ETH by 97%. I'm not probably telling you news about this. Now, we do see, though, that there is some kind of a consolidation since January of last year. We do see some kind of a floor, similar to what we see in the relative valuation to Bitcoin. Now, why do we see all of this underperformance here? It's probably got something to do with the liquid supply curve. So when we go here to Messari.io and we go to the profile of a coin and then to the token economics, so the supply curve, you can actually see how is the liquid supply developing over time. And the idea is the more supply there is potentially, the lower the price is, right? Price is just a reflection of supply versus demand. And we can see this is quite a bit of an increase, right? From 20 billion to almost 100 billion in the course of 9 years, roughly. So this is going to continue to increase. Currently, we are somewhere around here, right? So the supply is pretty much going to increase the same rate as it used to in the last few years. And what we would then also expect is that we will see here at the end of 2017, when the liquid supply crashed that much, then expect to also see a price increase relative to Ethereum, for example. So let's look at this. Let's look at the price at the end of 2017 relative to Ethereum. So let's zoom in over here, end of 2017, and this is not the US dollar price, this is the relative performance to ETH. And what do we see here? An outperformance versus ETH by 470%. Okay, so this is what the supply contraction here can cause. And so this is probably the reason why we see this underperformance since 2018. It's simply just more and more supply hitting the market, right? If we now zoom out again, we put maybe a vertical line over here and check the performance since then, right? It's the underperformance of 87%. So this is kind of like the problem of holding XRP over the long term. It's simply how the liquid supply is increasing. When we put a number to this, when we go here to asset XRP metrics all, so we go here to the metrics and we check the current inflation rate, it is at 26.4%. So unless we don't see 26.4% more investors every year in XRP, the price is likely going to decline. Now, Now, I don't want you to make a decision on any kind of investment just based on a single YouTube video. I simply just want that you take all this information into account for your own decision making. I'm not trying to convince you here of anything. I simply just want to show you things that you probably haven't yet seen before. Another interesting effect, especially now with this recent rally, is attention on a token. So when we go to CoinMarketCap and we look here at the volume rather than at the trading view volume, we get here the aggregated volume across all different exchanges, right? When we go here to markets, we can see XRP is being traded at more than just one exchange, right? And when you want to get an aggregate of all the trading volume across all of those exchanges, you better use something like CoinMarketCap. And what we can see here is that whenever the trading volume tends to be high, let's zoom out. Whenever the trading volume tends to be high, we very often also see a turnaround in the price. So trading volume is high, price is high. Trading volume declines, price declines. We can even narrow this down up to the day. Okay, so let's maybe zoom in over here and let's look at this day over here, right? The trading volume here was really, really high and the price was really, really high. Then the trading volume declined and the price declined. Same here, trading volume was high, a small decline. Then over here, again, trading volume high, then price is high, trading volume declines, price declines. And why does this happen? It's simply because heightened trading volume means heightened attention. The more eyeballs there is on an asset, the higher the price tends to be. When the attention fades away and goes to the next asset, that's also when people tend to rather sell again. And that's why it makes sense to look at the trading volume. And when we look at the 1 year trading volume, we can see XRP's volume is relatively high now. It's not yet historically high, right? When we look at this in the grand scheme of things, this is still a relatively small blip to compare to what we have seen in the past. But simply just in the last 12 months, this is definitely not low. So if you're just interested in XRP over the next 1 or 2 days and just try to catch this rally, make sure you have a very tight stop loss, right? That in case it does turn around again, that you're not taking all of the losses. Nobody knows how long such a rally can last. But what I think is relatively certain is that when attention is comparatively high, that once it fades again, that the price is likely to turn around again. The same is true, by the way, also the other way around, right? And we see a lot of trading volume when the price is crashing, then we very often have forced liquidations. And then again, we see a short-term turnaround of this. So heightened trading volume simply means that there's a high likelihood that the current momentum is going to turn around simply because so many tokens have changed hands and the reference price of those new hands is simply very different to the one that all the prior investors had. So I don't get into XRP for the very long term. And that has nothing to do with the lawsuit or anything like this. That has simply something to do with the liquid supply curve, the required investor growth every single year in order to just keep the price stable. And for the short term, I also don't get into this simply because I'm not really a fan of buying anything that currently has a lot of eyeballs, that currently being hyped where trading volume is relatively high. But as said, it's best to make your own decisions. Simply take this information as additional data points. If you appreciate this kind of honest take, this very transparent take on cryptocurrency analysis, and you want to see more of this, feel free to subscribe because I do publish videos regularly. We've also got a Telegram channel. Simply search for Bitcoin Strategy Channel within the Telegram app. And last but not least, there is the premium membership to be found at thebitcoinstrategy.com. There's daily market updates. There's also a lot of very interesting tutorials on technical analysis, on how to plot those relative charts, even on how to do backtesting of various technical indicators. So this is pretty advanced content over here, content that wouldn't run so well on YouTube, but that's very useful for building an edge in the market. There's more information in this video over here. Hope to see you in that video, and thanks for watching this one. Bye-bye.